This video is not intended for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Morning to Midnight. I'm your host, Stone Loki, and of course, we are talking the Mandalorian Chapter 14 this morning. We have got the one, the only, the Queen of the Queen's Council, Reina Creole, with us this morning. Good morning, Reina.
Good morning, Loki. Good morning, Dave Bob, and good morning to all of you in the chat. So glad to be here with you all.
Thank you so much for being here, Reina. And of course, we have the rooster in the hen house with us this morning. Dave Bob, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good and kind of a little dazed about what just happened.
Yeah. What did just happen? What did we just watch? Guys, there will be spoilers ahead. We are talking Mandalorian. For those of you who don't know, on the last episode, we had Ahsoka Tano come in from Clone Wars and Rebels, and she pointed the Mandalorian towards Typhon and said, take the child, take little baby Grogu to Typhon and put him on the Jedi Seeing Stone and let him reach out to a master in the Force. And that's where they left us. Oh, much better than yesterday, Colin P. Smith. Much better than yesterday. And of course, we had the return today of a certain character that we haven't seen in, 30 years, 35 years?
Mm-hmm. Other than a glimpse.
So this episode picks up shortly after the last episode ended. They're in space. They are flying towards Typhon. They get to Typhon, and Mandalorian has been playing Force games with Baby Yoda, making him catch that little metal ball. So he's still teaching Baby Yoda in a way. And he said something weird. He said the nice lady. I'm assuming he's talking about Ahsoka.
Yeah. That's what I thought too. While I understand it was well-meaning, it just seemed kind of out of place. He said, nice lady. I'm like, okay. All right.
And good morning, Lady Miss Samantha Joe Kronos. I did forget to do that this morning. Naughty Monkey, ORAP, Dave G Sound, Philip A. We've got Bartleby. Good morning, brother. It was badass. Yeah, that's all that needs to be said. Badass.
It was.
Low
you know what? I just had. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Low spec Linux laptop, spoiled Quinn baby doll, JPRPH1. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Chris Persia, the wrench of wrenches, is here. Pod Racing, Palpatine, the winner of the Bunta Eve Classic Project Storytime Broken Entertainment. Good morning, everyone. Go ahead, Lorena.
Sorry, I had myself muted. No, I was just saying, you know what? I take that back because the Mandalorian was talking to him in a way that like a child would understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice lady.
Yeah.
The nice lady.
The nice lady.
and they center on the Scene Stone. They get to the planet and they're flying around and they see the Scene Stone. And he says something weird. He said, "We're gonna have to do it with the windows down."
Yeah.
Boy, that was funny.
That was, oh my gosh, the baby, oh God. I'm going to try not to call him baby GoPro, but I have to. Just his reaction, like, woo!
Like a carnival ride. He was just
yes,
flying up there on the backpack with Mandalorian. That was classic. I loved that.
It was.
That was fun. And I appreciate again that they didn't use CGI for that they used an actual puppet for that. It just the reaction. It just seemed to come off much better.
And did y'all get a kind of a Stonehenge vibe from the little Seeing Stone place?
Yes.
I did, Dave Bob. Yeah, I did.
Yes,
Very,
I
very
did too.
Good. They did just a great job. That half round, or I guess it's a round rock stuck in the ground with those giant monoliths hanging over it. That
yeah,
just looked like something from an ancient religion.
Like familiar, but not quite. You know?
Yeah. And for those of you who do not know, Typhon was the home of a Jedi Academy during the Old Republic. So the planet they've gone to used to be a Jedi Academy planet where Jedi would go and train to be masters of the Force.
Wow, that I didn't know.
So of course that's all EU. I think Lorena asked me, is that EU? Yeah, that's EU stuff.
Yeah, so I definitely will give credit to them for me instinctively thinking that without knowing about the EU's existence, because Ashoka Tano talked about it in the previous episode. So I wasn't very thrown off when I saw that. So that was a nice tie-in.
It absolutely was. And they've been doing a lot of that. They have been doing a lot of that in throughout the show, throughout Clone Wars. They have been doing a lot of really wonderful tie-ins like that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, you know. The Disney, you know, pretty much decanonized everything in the EU, but they're slowly bringing it back.
They are.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah, I think they realize. Well, I'll just say Favreau seems most likely realized that ignoring the EU was not a smart move.
No.
Not a smart move. I mean, for someone like me, again, who's only seen the movies, I know of the existence of the EU and that there's all that lore that's out there, even if I haven't read it myself, but know that there's all of that there. So why go the other way and try pulling stuff out of your backside that's not all sewn up together? So I'm not surprised they went back to that, because that's where the true Star Wars fan base is. Again, if you've only seen the movies, if you're going to pull for some extra Star Wars lore, I expect you to go to the books and go to the EU.
Yeah, there's a richness in that can't be matched by anything that they can just, you know, dream up. You can see that from the sequel trilogy. I mean, you know, they just dropped the ball totally. But on a lighter note, he puts baby Grogu up on the rock and tells him, you know, get after it, dude.
Make it happen.
Yeah. He says, she told me all I had to do was get you up here and you'd handle the rest.
Oh, I am. That's so weird. It's so weird. Thank you, Mexican Iron Man, for letting me know that. I'm going to share this out on Twitter, guys, because we are being ghosted. That's so weird.
That is strange.
Yeah, this morning I had a little trouble finding it too. Honestly, it was well after 7 o'clock before I found the thumbnail for your thing this morning.
I did get a notification though about the stream on my phone.
And Pat Steven Seagal with the $2 super chat. If you shoot the boulder, it will come. Thank you so very much, Pat Steven, for the $2 Canadian super chat. And score!
There it is! Take your hat off, boy. That's a dollar bill.
You guys keep the home fires burning bright in Valhalla. Pat Steven, skull, brother. So the area, the Stonehenge like area, it's like a amplifier. I don't know. They did not explain that, of course, but you see this beam come out of it when Baby Yoda sits on it. It's around him. The Mandalorian can't get to him. It keeps pushing him back. But that is like a SOS signal going up. It's like lighting a signal flare.
Very cool effect. Very cool effect.
It was. I like that.
It's like a force beacon. Letting everybody know, hey, I'm out here.
Come find me.
Yeah, come find me.
Kind of like the Arecibo telescope, putting out a beam or something into the ether.
And no, Pat Steven, don't worry about it, brother. You didn't have to send the first one.
Exactly.
I would have shown it anyway, brother. So don't be sorry. Be sorry. I know what's going on. We know what's going on. This was not like the best episode this season, but it was. It's an important episode nonetheless.
Yes.
And the return in the middle of all this, you hear it before you see it.
Yes.
And you can't hide that raspy engine.
No, that's very, very distinctive.
And as soon as you see, guys, spoilers. So if you haven't seen this, go out and see it. As soon as you see Slave One coming in to land on the planet, you know shit's about to go down. You know who's on that ship. You know what's about to happen. The Mandalorian is about to come face to face with the one and only Boba Fett. And I wasn't sure whether I was going to be happy about this or not. I don't know about y'all.
I wasn't. Well, I've said repeatedly, I didn't like the member berries like this, and Boba Fett is one of the biggest member berries that you can drop in. And when you're going for a member berry that high up on the chain, it kind of makes me think that you don't have much faith in the world that you've built. Now, with that said, I did like what they did with him in the episode. They didn't go half-ass when they brought Boba Fett in.
No.
Of hearing the ship, because that's what you should hear. I mean, that's what you should hear, because I'm like, oh, crap, because it just sends chills, because the bounty hunter is in town.
Yep.
And of course, my first question is, okay, how'd he get out of the freaking Sarlacc pit? Okay, I guess eventually we'll have to hear that story. But I love how they brought him in. Again, Loki, like you said, you hear it. And hardcore fans are going to know what that sound is. And then you see it come gliding in, just like you remember.
Yeah, if you're going to bring back a character like that, you better be ready to really bring it. And they brought it.
They
Yeah,
brought it.
they
You see
did.
Slave One, Mandalorian sees Slave One land on the planet, touchdown. He sees a hooded figure get out. I wasn't sure whether that was going to be Bubba or not, but then of course they come face to face, and it's Bubba. And as soon as the Mandalorian gets even close, there is a rapid fire shot of blasters, and he hides for a second, and then he pops out, and he's face to face with Bubba. And Bubba tells him, "I've got a sharpshooter up on the cliff." And he's like, "If I even see a muzzle flash out of you, that will shoot baby little Grogu, will shoot the child." And that's when he realizes that it's Ming Na from season 1, the actress Ming Na. I always forget her name.
Fennec.
Fennec, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And he says, "But you're dead."
And she shows him that she's part droid now. She's got droid. She's a cyborg.
Yes.
So Boba Fett saved her life, repaired her, and is now using her. She owes him a life debt, which is weird because they're taking something from the Wookiees. That was a Wookiee thing, that life debt. So there is some honor there for her to actually follow Bubba and do what Bubba's telling her to do. Because I thought originally that it was Gideon that saved her, but no, it was Bubba. There was two sides of that fence: Bubba Fett and the people that believed it was Moff Gideon.
Yeah, I had thought that it was. I was hoping it wouldn't again because I don't like bringing a member berry as big as Boba Fett back, and I'm like, I hope it's not him, but it seemed to point to it being him.
Definitely was him. Definitely was him.
Yeah, I've never said Boba. It said Bubba Fett. Bubba Fett. That's what I've always called him. Bubba Fett. I know. It's Boba.
I love it. It's hilarious. I love it.
Well, when you're from the South, everything kind of sounds like Bubba.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. That's why I didn't blink at all when you guys say it that way.
Growing up in Texas, Bubba.
The South, they pronounce
don't know
things
how many-
differently.
Yeah, I don't know how many of my friends are named Bubba. There's a lot of them.
Broken Entertainment, Loki. I hate his actual pronunciation. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Mexican Iron Man, Hell Valhalla. I'm on double pain meds so I could make today's show and thank you all. You're my family and getting better faster because of you all. Ooh, well, Mexican Iron Man, just for you, brother. Let's hit some Spartans.
Yeah.
Spartans! What is your profession?
We love you, Mexican Iron Man.
Yes, we do. So glad you're getting better. So glad.
Glad you're on the mend.
It is good to have you back, brother. Even if you're on double pain meds and kicking it.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times those double pain meds, kind of get you to a happy place too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy. After they kind of come to an understanding that all Boba wants is the armor, he pretty much, the Mandalorian tells him, look, that armor was looted from Mandalore, and he, was asking Boba, he said, "Are you a Mandalorian?" And he pretty much, told him that he was not beholden to anyone, and that, the armor was in his family for has been in his family for a couple of generations.
Mm-hmm.
That's about the time they all decide, to kind of just sit there and talk, put their weapons down. And for some reason, they made Mando take his jetpack off. I'm not really quite sure why that happened, but it was it was done, I think, more for plot convenience than anything. And shortly thereafter, you look up in the sky and you see a troop ship coming in, just screaming in for a landing. And
You know the shit's on.
yeah,
Yep.
You know it's on. We were thinking Dark Troopers, evil moths, but it was just a shitload of stormtroopers. A shitload of stormtroopers.
yeah, they poured out like ants.
Mm-hmm.
And Krennic and Mando and Bubba, they go after it.
Yep. Mando, he immediately heads up the mountain to help secure the child, to keep the child from, getting in any kind of crossfire. And as he's headed up, naturally he has to run up the hill. He doesn't have his backpack, and when he gets to the top of the hill, Baby Yoda is still in that force beam, and as he goes to try to get the kid, he says, "Kid, we gotta go,
And yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah,
It's
and then
not happening.
he tried to force his way into that thing, and it just totally knocked him across the top of the mountain and just knocked him cold.
Knocked him on his ass.
Yep.
But one of the really hot spots to this was watching Boba Fett kick the shit out of Stormtroopers.
Yeah, while all this was going on, he looks over at the Razor Crest Boba, and you know what was going to happen then. He headed for the Razor Crest and got his armor on.
Mm-hmm.
got his groove back.
Oh, it looked really good to see that.
Well, even before that, though, he's got a Gothy stick.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and move like a boss. That was good. That was awesome, and I think I'd made the remark that the way that he was using it, I said that's why he was Vader's favorite bounty hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Anything he could get his hands on, he could wield with lethal force. He wasn't kidding.
Yeah. Even without his armor, with that staff or whatever, he took out probably a good dozen of the stormtroopers.
Yeah, he went right through them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And cracking that armor with that thing. I mean, just those helmets splitting and pieces flying off of it. I mean, it was brutal.
It was. Watching Bubba use that Gothy stick, that sand people Gothy stick, the Tusken Raider Gothy stick that was the best part of this episode. Watching those helmets just shatter when he hit them with it. I was just like, damn. They know how to get you excited. They do. They know how to get you excited. This was kind of a filler episode, but not. It's an important episode, but what happens is all mainly on Typhon. In 30 minutes. I mean, you blink and it's over, but it had plenty of action to keep you like, yeah, keep going. You wanted more.
Yeah, I agree. The action kept getting ratcheted up. It wasn't like, we're just going to flatline, do a thing here, do a thing there. You're not constantly looking at your watch. I'll put it like that.
Yeah.
You're worried that if you look away, you're going to miss something.
You probably would. And then in the middle of all this, what happens? They take out pretty much all the stormtroopers in the first troop, and then what happens? Another troop ship comes flying in and just parks. I mean, just precision landing right beside the other one, and a whole nother batch of stormtroopers come screaming out. And that's about the time Boba finally gets his armor back.
Yes.
And stormtroopers still can't shoot the broadside of a bantha.
No. When they pulled out that E-Web blaster, I don't know if you guys remember, the E-Web is the blaster cannon they used that they were hooking up in Empire Strikes Back when the Falcon was trying to take off from Echo Base.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. And I have to add this because I'm a Diz nerd. There's also, well, before they swapped it out, in Star Tours the ride, there's a part in the segment where they're setting up that same thing and about to shoot the transport that you're on.
Yes. Yeah, I've been on that too. The Star Tours.
Yeah.
That was so cool. Disney World and Disneyland both had them.
Mm-hmm.
And they were also using a mortar try to get them, and there was a battle royal. Boy, when they cut loose with that, what did you call it, like Loki? That
E-Web blaster.
Yeah, when they cut loose with that E-Web, you would have thought they'd cut anything in half. But being stormtroopers, they still couldn't hit shit.
I know.
They chased Fennec across the top of a crest, just behind her all the way. And even when she fell down, it's like they said, well, we'll just stop behind her, shoot a little bit, and then she gets up, and they kept it going right behind her. Anyhow, she's trapped up on the top of the hill. They're blasting away at her. They throw another mortar around her way, and it loosens this giant boulder, a la Raiders. She puts her robot or her droid legs into it, and she pushes this big boulder down the hill, and it takes everything out. Troopers, the E-Web, and the mortar, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lady Mist and Christopher. Yeah, Lady Mist. I did get Eris's super chat at the very beginning of 7 Kinds of Mischief last night, the one she left on the Robert Meyer Burnett interview. So thank you. Thank you for reminding me, Lady Mist. Between Boba Fett kicking ass with the Goffy stick, Mandalorian shooting everything in sight, Krennic snipering, which I really liked. I mean, it was like 1, 2, 3 stormtroopers.
Yeah.
She did not miss.
No.
Whenever she and quick, I mean the staccato blast, while she was going through there, she'd take out 5 stormtroopers in about a half a second. I mean, just man, she is definitely a good shot. There's no two ways about it. She's an assassin. I mean, she can hit you from wherever, and she does not miss.
And you know what those stormtroopers are there for, obviously.
Oh yeah, cannon fodder. Oh, you're talking about why they're there. Yeah.
To get them looking one way. To get all their attention one way, because all they had to do was send in those what we're about to reveal. I almost jumped the gun just a little bit. They get you looking one way, and they get all your attention focused on something.
Yeah, a diversion.
They blow up the Razor Crest. The Razor Crest is gone.
Oh, that just broke my heart when that happened.
I know. It's like seeing I forget what movie it is, or some guy's car. He's like prized vehicle, and they just blew it up. And just the anguish on their face was just like, okay, my prized ride is now gone.
Yeah, that was to me, that was the fatality of the episode.
Yeah, it was a Razor Crest. Because if you think about it, I mean, it's been shot, jacked up, put together with duct tape and cables and WD-40, and finally got it in some good working order, and now it's ash.
And when that blast comes from outer space, you see this big red fireball coming towards it. I mean, it takes it. You hear it long before it hits the Razor Crest, and it's just kind of. And boy,
that's right, Pod Racer Palpatine. Yeah. Oh man.
That DB5 go down. That was the first foreign car I ever fell in love with, was the DB5. That was the first foreign car I was ever like, I want one.
That was
Oh,
a
yes.
slick ride.
Yes. No, I've always loved Aston Martin ever since I saw that car. I've always loved Aston Martin. So, obviously, this is a diversion. The stormtroopers are being laid waste. Boba Fett gets his armor back. Boba Fett he throws a thermal detonator on the ground, blows half of them all to hell. He's taking people out left, right, and center. And this is all a diversion. This is all to get you looking one way. And we get the first view of fully functioning dark troopers. And yeah, they almost look like Iron Man. They are flying like Iron Man. They have the rocket boots like Iron Man. You see them flying down to the planet to stop on, and you know what they're going after. You immediately know who they're going after. They're not going after the Mandalorian. They're not going after Boba Fett. They want the child. They definitely want the child. Now, $5 super chat from Psycho Dwarf 9. Thank you so very much, Psycho Dwarf 9. And he says, Loki, no fly without the rebuy. And I tell you what, brother, you want something to fly? You want a little fire this morning, Psycho Dwarf 9? Well, here you go, brother. Skull!
Go!
That's right. Dragon fire, cooking them up in the morning. Thank you so very much, Psychodorp 9. You guys keep the home fires burning bright in Valhalla, brother. Skull.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
I love the smell of dragon fire in the morning, which is why I'm up every morning, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m., guys, because I love the smell of dragon fire in the morning. And that's what I got burning right now is dragon fire. And this was not unexpected. It was not unexpected. I fully expected to see this. I fully expected this as soon as I got the feeling that because the Dark Troopers, when they didn't come out of the transport, I was like, okay, where are they?
Yeah,
they've been tracking
too. Yeah, I thought that was what was going to be happening on the before credits. You know, on the rehash of the other episodes, you got a look at pretty much everything that was going to happen. You know, all the characters that they were going to be bringing in with that. So you knew that the Dark Troopers were going to come in somewhere.
Yeah, you knew. And when I didn't see him coming out of the transport, I was like, okay, where are they? Where are they? Are they going to come out of the next one? Are they in the back of the transport and they're just cannon foddering the stormtroopers? Is that what we're going to get this morning? And no, they come flying down out of the sky. And Baby Yoda has just finished his signal flare, sending his signal flare up. And the field that was protecting him, that prevented the Mandalorian from grabbing him, is now gone. And they scoop him up.
Yeah,
they scoop him up.
He falls asleep, or not falls asleep, but he's so tired he can't put up any resistance.
No, passes out from exhaustion. And Mark the Infinitely Tired. Loki, Reina, Dave Bob. Holy shit, that was an awesome episode. This is the emotional equivalent of ESP. I agree. I agree. Pod Racing Palpatine, it's baby grow bag.
we haven't got to some of the better parts here yet either. I mean, the fighting and whatnot, that was, classic. Loved it. And there's no way to say it other than Boba Fett knows how to fight. I mean, he knows how to fight. You know
He
why?
does.
He's Vader's favorite bounty hunter.
Oh yeah. Boba Fett is taking out son of a bitches left, right, and center. It as far as the action in this episode, it is on par with last week's. It is on par with last week's. It's just quick. It's over so quick. I mean, you blink and this 30-minute episode is done. Where we had a 40-minute episode or 45-minute almost the week before. A 40-minute episode the week before that. The difference in time is so strange that they chose this type of format.
Yeah. The one good thing about it was that it captivated you. It held your attention to where you did not want to look away because you thought if you looked away for even a second, you might miss something. I mean, it was just bang, 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 bang all the way through it.
And pod racing Palpatine, I want to tell you something, bro. It may not. It may not. And since Echo Base has had its video out where I talked about this, I'll tell you guys something. I'll give you a little hint on something.
World between worlds.
The world between worlds. Dave Filoni created an out. Dave Filoni created an out where they can change. Months and months ago, I got past a rumor that they were going to, and that it all focused on Ahsoka, bringing Ahsoka back in future Star Wars content, that they can use the veil, yes, the veil, world between worlds, to change everything that happens in the sequel trilogy, to make the sequel trilogy a legend, to where it is no longer canon. Imagine a future where you see Luke marrying Ben Solo, not Kylo, Ben Solo and Rey, with Han there, with the family there, at the Jedi Academy.
With Luke at the head of it.
With Luke at the head of it.
And he could even train Leia.
He could even train Leia. A change in the future. There are rumors that the Mandalorian is going to be going to Dagobah. Whether that's going to happen, which I don't think it is, not this season. I think if they do something like that, it will be next season. That would be something. That would be absolutely positively insane. So the Dark Troopers fly down to the planet, get Baby Yoda, and take off. And Boba Fett is in pursuit. Boba Fett is back in Slave One. He is in pursuit of the Dark Troopers as they scream back to where they came from with Baby Yoda. And the ship that is now in low orbit around the planet, and then when I say low orbit, it is in low orbit. It's not like what we saw yesterday in STD. Is an Aquintus class light cruiser. These were Jedi ships in the Clone Wars, and in Rebels, the Empire was using them as light command ships. And of course, this is the ship of Moff Gideon. This is Moff Gideon's light command cruiser.
Yep, and it freaks out Boba Fett when he sees it.
Yeah, he says, "They're back. They're back. The Empire has returned."
And Fennec says, "That can't be possible. The New Republic has, control of the Outer Rim." And he says, "They're here."
Yeah. And Spoil Quinn, baby doll, you have a great day. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us on Mornings of Mischief. And we have a $5 super chat from Psychodorf9. And he says, only way I'm going back to Star Wars is to undo Disney trilogy and fire KK. And a lot of people feel the same way you do, Psychodorf 9. I am right there with you. And I think the one reason why we have gotten such good Mandalorian is that they know not to go to her.
Oh yeah.
They know not to involve her in this. This is Favreau and
They
Dave.
set her back there on the kiddie table away from the grown-ups.
And just for that Psychodorf 9, we're going to hit you with a little skull, brother. And you all know and love this one. So, skull!
God, I want to punch an old woman in the face.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Love that.
I love that.
In the face.
Oh,
Hell yeah to Az for coming on and hanging out that day. So
yeah.
the Dark Troopers fly up to this command cruiser. They get the kid. Bubba won't engage and is like, I'm coming back down to the planet. And pulls back. And that's when they've got to figure out what's going on. And Mando needs a ship. Mando's stuck on this planet. If Bubba decides to take off Krennic, Mando's stuck on Typhon.
Yeah, because in the middle of all this, we didn't mention it, but Boba Fett took out both of the troop ships that were trying to escape with his rocket launcher, and took out both of those. And that's when that's about the time that the Dark Troopers came down and snatched up Grogu. But
everything you see in this episode makes you feel like Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen anything in any of these episodes that would make you think this isn't Star Wars. They have done a wonderful job making you feel this is Star Wars. You are in the Star Wars universe.
Well, I love it that, you know, the technical effects and the sound effects and everything. I mean, they're spot on. I mean, you can't fault them for their cinematic or their, you know, acoustical expertise in that. I mean, it is that is Star Wars. You know, just when you hear it and you know it's Star Wars, you know they're doing it right.
Yeah, absolutely. You know they're doing it right. And Mark Dampingly Tired asks, Loki, what if Baby Yoda summoned a Dark Jedi or a Sith heard the call? You imagine they did. I imagine if there are any Sith out there, Dark Jedi, they did.
I guarantee you, because that beam he sent out was strong.
Yes. Yeah, nobody could get near him. It was a giant beacon in the Force screaming, "Hey, here I am. How you doing?
Come and get me.
Come and get me." So the last 5 minutes of this episode are really interesting. The Mandalorian talks to Bubba and Krennic, and they got Bubba's armor back. So he owes the Mandalorian.
And he proves to the Mandalorian that he, you know, the armor belongs to him by the way the armor was actually coded to him. And he was, you know, showing the coding proof and that his father was a foundling. And that's how he got the armor.
What I like about that part is it points to like the importance of genealogies, and it's very interesting because in a lot of different cultures, you have to be able to recite and prove your genealogy in order to give your lineage credence. So I thought that was very cool to see, because he not only told him, he showed him, like, here, I'm going to recite my genealogy for you. So here's the proof, and here's where my credibility is.
Yep. And that hollow display that he showed him is basically every single person that's ever wore that armor.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I didn't know. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that big like hollow display. Each of those
Mhm.
marks is like a name.
Wow. Now see, I knew, and you had pointed to genealogy, but didn't know about the coding, like an audit record of every person
Yes.
who's worn that armor before.
Yes. To prove
Nice.
this is how far this goes back.
Yes, and Finnick and Boba are now kind of like tied to Mando with a life debt until they get the child back.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to help him any way that they can.
Yeah, because that's what was the most important thing to Bubba was getting that armor back. So I am now, and I said this while we were watching this, I'm now getting a Ocean's 11 vibe
Mm.
from this. And Mandalorian goes back to see Cara Dune at the very end of this episode and gets her to look up Mayhew. Now, for those of you who do not remember, in the very first season, there was an episode called, I think it was called Jailbreak.
Yep.
Oh, with the Twilight brother and sister.
Twilight
Yeah.
brother and sister. Mayhew
Okay.
is the bald guy with the double blasters.
Yeah.
That
the
one
one that
Okay. I thought
comes-
he
that
looked
one
familiar, but
comes
I
up
couldn't
off his
recall him.
backpack. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that was constantly mouthing off at Mando in that
Okay.
episode. So I think the Mandalorian is going to get a group of badasses together to retrieve Baby Yoda.
Mm-hmm. And he asks when he asks Cara Dune for her help. She says, "Look, I'm a marshal now. I can't just do stuff like that." But then he mentions to her, he said, "They took the child." Oh man, the look
Oh
on
yeah,
her face. The look on her face.
oh yeah, she's pissed. She's pissed, and she
Mhm.
knows who took it. She knows Gideon. So she's got a perfect excuse to be like, no, guys. And she's got contacts in the New Republic.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll wasabi oh my god, what's his name? Mr. Miyagi, X-Wing pilot.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Wasabi Miyagi. Be back. I have a feeling he will, along with what did they call him? Trapper Wolf?
Yeah.
Dave Filoni.
Yeah. Hopefully he does a little more credible job of acting this time.
And pod racing Palpatine, send in Apollo Creed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mandalorian walk up to him, Dylan, you son of a bitch. Stick around. So the very last scenes we get, guys, is on the command cruiser, Moff Gideon's command cruiser. And Loriana pointed this out multiple times. It is like he wants to be Vader.
Yep.
He's
Yeah.
got the chest piece. Yeah.
He's got the stroll down,
The cape.
even the cadence in his voice, and it is. It's just like Vader 2.0, and like Loki and Dave Bob were saying when we were watching it. Vader was so iconic. It kind of makes sense that he had his fanboys out there who were just like, I want to be him. And we see, I got flashbacks to the first to A New Hope when Vader picks up Princess Leia,
Yeah.
trying to interrogate her. When they walk in and baby GoPro is using the Force to just basically do WWE with those two stormtroopers. And, and one of them is about to, take him out. They can't shoot for squat. And Gideon's just like, no. You're kind
Let
of
him
like,
play.
oh, why? And he just watches it until he finally, knocks them both out. And then, baby GoPro just kind of just like, okay, that took a lot out of me. It's like, oh yeah, this is why. Now
Yeah,
he's weak, and you see how he used that. It's like, damn, that was gangster.
yeah, he's like, oh, it tires you out, doesn't it? He's like, it just makes you tired, doesn't it?
Makes you sleepy.
Makes you
Very
sleep.
sleepy. And then he hauls out the dark saber. Remember one of these? And you can see him just kind of like,
He's trying to get
I-
it.
yes. It's like, you can't get it now, can you?
Oh, not yet. You'll poke your eye out.
Yeah, it might
Oh,
poke
that
your
was
eye
funny.
out.
Poke your eye.
Ralphie.
That was funny. That line added another good amount of levity to, what's an extremely tragic scene, because you know Baby Yoda's in danger, or
Yeah.
Goku is in danger. You know he's in danger. Extreme danger.
Yeah, he uses the stormtrooper. Finally, he lets him hit him with the stun gun or the stun
Mhm.
beam or whatever, and knocks him out. And they put I guess there's some kind of shackles or electronic handcuffs on him. So I guess
Yes.
he can't move his hands to do the force or whatever.
Yes.
In the EU, you find out that, and this is why the Sith Force lightning is so dangerous. When you electrocute a Jedi, it like switches off their ability to use the Force. So it's like clicking a light switch off, keeping it off. So as long as you present that electrical charge, even if it's a light one, light enough to just light up your nerves a little bit, you can't use the Force.
Wow.
It cancels out your ability to use the Force, which was one of Palpatine's little tricks you learn about in the EU. This is how they cage Jedi. They inserted an electrical charge into a cage, whatever you want, and called them Force cages, because it would cancel out their ability to use the Force. As long as that electrical charge is there, that's it.
Uh-huh. Now that kind of lends a lot of credence to what I didn't quite get, well, in Return of the Jedi, when the Emperor starts shooting, Luke with Force lightning. And I'm like, well, how come he can't fight back against that? Because he was just crippled. He couldn't do anything. And he'd never seen anything like that before. And it's like, how come he can't fight back against that?
Yeah.
And that little tidbit kind of explains it, which makes it even more poignant that his father saved him from that, because he kept yelling, Father, so help me.
Please, yes.
Yeah.
And guys, they're going to experiment on Baby Yoda. They're going to extract the Force out of him. They already called the doctor. Gideon at the end of this episode's like, get the doctor, and we're gonna operate. We're gonna operate on the baby.
He seemed very excited about that.
Oh yeah, I guarantee Gideon wants Force powers.
Oh heck yeah, that would make perfect sense. Because then again, Vader had him.
Vader had him.
He's a Vader fanboy. That's funny.
Oh yeah. Vader
That's what I'm call
Light
from now on.
Vader Light is what I call him.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you guys had to give a rating to this, what would you get, Lorena?
I would give it an 8. Again, I admit my bias, because I did not like the idea of them bringing back Boba Fett, but they did it in a way that did not seem extremely insulting. It was very badass how they brought him back, and also highlighted. I kind of thought, well, how come Mandalorian couldn't be like that? That's what I thought the Mandalorian was going to be. So it gets a solid 8 from me.
Dave Bob.
I agree. 8 is what I'll give it. The action, the way they choreographed everything, it kept you watching. You didn't want to look away. So just from purely an entertainment perspective, you you just couldn't look away. So that right there, gives it a high score. Plus, it brought it along. You know where it's going now. The only thing I have any reservations about is there's only 2 episodes left, and they really have got to tie up a lot of loose ends.
Yeah, we've got 2 episodes left, and they are going to have to tie up a lot of loose ends. I agree with the both of you. I'll give this episode an 8, which would be like a B even, not a B plus or a B minus, but a B. I was worried what they were going to do with Boba Fett. There were a lot of people saying who was going to come in at the end of this episode. Oh, you're going to have this Jedi or that Jedi. We haven't seen that, and we're probably not going to see that till either the very end of this season or sometime in the next season. So I think that the theories are going to fly until we get Mandalorian season 3. But I give this an 8. Boba Fett was good. Krennic was good. The Mandalorian was good. Baby Yoda was good. Of course, Moff Gideon was good. So it was a solid episode, even though we really didn't get any answers besides getting to see the Dark Troopers. We knew that was coming. So thank you both for doing this with me. I absolutely love getting to do these with the 2 of you.
Oh, you're welcome. I love doing it.
Wouldn't miss it. Love it.
I look forward to this, man.
Yeah.
So, guys, I don't have. We've got nothing going on this week. What about this weekend, anyway? What about you two? Is there anything you guys got going on this weekend?
Well, I have something going on later on today at 12 noon. So I have at the lunch table, the official lunch table of the Fandom Menace, Clobbering Times is going to be my guest.
Nice.
Clobbering mine and Pat Stevens guest. Yes. So Clobbering Times is going to be on the show, and I'm going to have fun showing them a couple of comics I have from my G.I. Joe stash that I have no idea what they are, that I just have them. So kind of tell me a little bit about them.
Yeah, I've got some of those as well that I was showing off the other day. Some of those G.I. Joe comics that I have no idea. I have no idea what they're. Yeah, they got, they're like 50 everywhere, anywhere from 50 cents to $1.
Yeah, I just grabbed them and bagged them, and that was it.
It's so fun getting to do that. What about you, Dave Bob?
I don't have any plans other than I'm going to be out in the woods chasing some wild critters.
Nice. I'm hunting for rabbit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Everyone, have a great one, and we will catch you guys later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.